All right. Hey, Kaylee.
Hello. Thank you for joining us in the Penguinarium. My name's Kaylee and this is Barb. Today we'd be happy to answer all questions about penguins for you, and afterwards you can go to the link in this video and there's a bunch of penguin activities. We truly appreciate all of your support and it means the world to us. Please consider donating if you have any needs.
So, what kind of penguins do we have here?
These are called Humboldt penguins. They are native to South America. They live on the coastlines of Chile and Peru.
And Lisa is asking, how many do we have here?
Lisa, great question. We have 23 penguins. We have 14 males and 9 females.
And so, do they all have names, Kaylee?
They do.
Can you tell us who are some of these?
They do have names. If you look at their wings, you'll see their name tags. All the males are tagged on their right and the females are on their left.
And can you tell us who some of them are here?
Yeah, let's see. We got Patata, we got Linus, we got Nacho right here from our Nacho and Goat walks. And Goat is right here. We have this year's chick. This is CT. This is our little girl right here. If you notice, she's got different colorations. This is the juvenile plumage. She won't get her adult plumage until she's around 2 years old.
Before we go on, I just want to tell all our watchers, please do not click any links on the comments that are asking you for credit card information. We are not charging for this live, and there are some scammers. So, all right, so to get on with it, Tanya wants to know, how can you tell if everyone gets a fish? How can you tell if everybody gets a fish?
That is a great question, Tanya. So every morning we come out with our little checkboard and we give all of our penguins their vitamins. So we make sure everyone gets at least 1 fish a day. Also, we are able to manage this group. It's not a massive group, it's 23 birds. So we hand feed each of our penguins and we pay attention to who we're feeding.
And what are we feeding them here?
This little thing right here is called a silver slide. It's one of their favorites. It's like their little snack. We have capelin and their other favorite, which is herring.
So what do Humboldt penguins eat in the wild?
That's a great question. Humboldt penguins eat anchovies, crustaceans, and squid.
So Ryan is asking, do you notice different families or social circles among the penguins?
So penguins do mate for life. They are monogamous, and they hang out with their chick for around the first 3 years of the chick's life until the chick fledges, and they go off on their own.
So Claire is asking if they're going to swim, and I think we'll play a little bit of video of to show what they look like when they're swimming underwater here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, penguins are beautifully adapted to living in the ocean. Their torpedo-shaped bodies were designed for moving efficiently through the water. They use their flippers to propel or fly underwater, if you will, and use their feet as rudders to steer. Humboldts can swim up to 35 miles an hour to either evade predators or catch their own prey. The predators include sharks, seals, and killer whales. These guys are able to hold their breath for around 3 minutes and dive up to 300 feet at a time. They have this really cool adaptation about them. They have a second eyelid. It's transparent and it's like a pair of goggles. It's called an extended membrane.
How fast can they swim?
They can swim 30 miles an hour.
So Beckett and Lucas are asking, how are they similar or different from their relatives in Antarctica?
Basically, it's just size and location. So there are 4 species of Antarctic penguin. They live in the colder weather, and these guys are a tropical species. Their closest relative is the African penguin. There's 17 species altogether.
So what's the biggest penguin species?
Emperor penguins are the largest. They are between 59 and 99 pounds, depending on the season, where a Humboldt penguin is about 9 to 18 pounds, depending on the season.
So Molly and Beckett and Lucas are asking, the herring looks so huge compared to the size of their bills. Do they chew them or do they swallow them whole?
They swallow it whole. So the really cool thing about these guys is they have these little barbs in their mouth that grab onto the fish. So when they're hunting in the wild, this fish can't swim out of their mouth.
Tiffany says her 6-year-old would like to know, how do penguins use their wings when swimming? Do they push with their wings, or do they steer with their wings?
That's a great question. They push water. They move their wings in a circular motion, and they use their feet as rudders to steer.
So, Jeff is asking, does Oregon have any penguins?
Jeff, the only penguins in Oregon are our Oregon Zoo penguins.
So, when people see puffins or murres or different black and white seabirds on the Oregon coast, what's the big difference between them and penguins?
They are a part of a different family completely. However, they do eat fish just like penguins do, and they hunt in a similar manner. They are a flighted bird, the puffins, where these guys are flightless. So these guys dive to get their fish. Puffins dive from the surface.
So we had a one chick hatch this year. We're going to play a little bit of video to show. Can you tell us a little about that chick?
Yes. So CT was huge this year for us. She was the 191st chick to be hatched here at the Oregon Zoo since the 1980s. And we were able to use her egg to set the parameters on our new CT machine. So we can use it for our condor eggs. Condors are extremely endangered, so that is huge. She's a big contributor to science.
So what was it like caring for her? And she was really fluffy and...
Yeah, so when penguins hatch, they are born with a brown and gray fuzz called down. They are pretty helpless. Their eyes are closed for the first week, and their parents take care of them. Keepers would do health checks on them daily. We'd take weights, assess hydration, and if we needed to intervene, we were able to supplement them and then return them to her parents.
So speaking of parents, Holly would like to know, do they mate for life, and how many chicks can they have at one time?
That's a great question, Callie. Penguins do mate for life. They are monogamous. If something happens to one of them, they will pair up with another bird. There you go.
And who are CT's parents?
Mojito and Bonita. So Mojito is actually the largest penguin we have. Where's he at? Oh, that's Mojito right there. And then Bonita right here up front.
Benjamin's asking, are the black stripes on their chest unique to each penguin?
Benjamin, that is a very smart question. They are unique. So the black stripe and the spots around it are unique to each individual penguin. It's like their thumbprint.
Adriana wants to know, how many times can they have eggs?
Adriana, great question. So these guys will lay 2 eggs per clutch. If something happens to their eggs, if they get predated, then they can double clutch and lay 2 more for the season.
So, how often do you feed the penguins here?
The penguins get fed at least 3 times a day, up to 5 times if there's chicks.
So I know some of our followers have seen them walking around. Is that something that they enjoy doing? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, our nacho and goat walks, they seem to really enjoy it. I think they're definitely missing public. They used to play with them at the glass. So it's nice to get them out of their habitat that they're in all the time, especially while the weather was nice.
So what's their favorite snack? Is there a certain seafood that they prefer?
This is most definitely their favorite snack. This is the silver sides.
And do all of them prefer that, or?
All of them except for CT, Pescado, and Patata, which are our 3 youngest birds. CT was hatched this year. Pescado and Patata are about 3 years old. They don't care for them much yet, but all the older birds dig them.
I think some of the folks are hearing the braying vocalizations. Katie is asking, is that the penguins making that noise, and what is that sound?
Penguins do make a bray, but what I think you're hearing is an Inca tern. which is a flighted bird in this exhibit with the red bill and the mustache.
Beckett is asking, when they go on walks, do they have a favorite animal to visit?
Ooh, that's a good question. Becca, I think they really enjoyed the sea lion or the seals.
And Natalie is asking a little bit about enrichment. She's saying, do they get toys, and what are the sort of...
Absolutely. So we do give them floating toys in the pool. We have a kelp forest, if you will, for them that we've made out of felt and a sinking bar. They also really enjoy fish tosses when it comes to their little snack here. When public's here, they really enjoy shiny things up at the glass.
So Katie's asking, are there vitamins in their food?
Katie, great question. We put a vitamin in their food every morning. So they get 1 vitamin a day, every day.
So Kaylee, what's it like to work with penguins? It's a pretty special job. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do and kind of what it takes to do this work?
Yeah, it's great. We all really enjoy it. So working with birds is nice because there's so many things to them depending on the season. So we have nesting season, we have to put all the boxes in and help them raise their chicks. There's something called catastrophic molt where they drop all their feathers, and we have to be able to care for them while they're doing those things. As far as daily care, we feed and medicate every day. We have to power wash the exhibit. It's a lot of work.
What are some of your favorite parts of caring for penguins?
I really enjoy chick season. Helping the parents raise their chick is a lot of fun for me. Watching the chick grow and be healthy and successful, and learning about that individual chick's personality.
Susan is asking, what's the temperature in the penguinarium here?
That's a great question, Susan. The temperature in here is around 69 degrees.
And so for some people might think, associate penguins with Antarctica, but can you talk a little bit about kind of why that's okay for this species of penguin?
These guys are a tropical species. They're from South America, so they're liking the warmer climate. These guys are especially adapted for warmer climate. If you notice, they have pink skin around their bills and their feet, and underneath their wings there's a little bit. So when they get too hot, they can send all their blood to those areas to cool off. So they are adapted for warm weather. There are 4 species of Antarctic birds, and they are the larger species, and they are built for colder weather.
Christina's asking, how do they sleep?
That's a great question, Christina. So these guys sleep multiple ways. Sometimes they take real short naps on their feet, so they sleep standing up. Sometimes they sleep on their bellies with their little legs sticking out, and they will also nap in the water.
So Maricela is asking, how old do they get, and what's the oldest penguin in the colony here?
Marcella, that's a good question. So in the wild, penguins live 20 to 25 years. At zoos and aquariums, they live upwards of 30 years. We had a record-breaking penguin named Brown. He lived to be 39 years old. Our oldest penguin is Mochica. He is 30 years old. He is actually not over here right now, but this is Crash, and she's 29 years old, so she's right behind him.
Susie's asking, do the parent penguins regurgitate their food to the chicks?
Yes, Susan, they do. We call it crop milk, and the younger the chick is, the soupier it is. So as the chick grows, the parents will go eat their fish, and they start regurgitating chunks, but we call it crop milk.
Charmaine has a funny question. So do the penguins get fat, and do you need to limit their calories because of that?
Not normally. So these guys go through something called a catastrophic molt once a year. So there is a season where these penguins will put on 3 to 5 pounds per bird, and then they drop all their feathers, and it takes about 3 weeks for the whole process. And the reason why they put on so much weight is because in the wild they wouldn't get in the water to hunt. Well, they don't have feathers. So they do get large, but it's acceptable, and we don't have to really manage their weight like that.
So Ellie is asking, how do they raise their chicks in the wild, and is there any difference between the way they do that and the way they do it here in the zoo?
Yes. So in the wild, they actually make their nests out of guano, which is dried up poop. Here at the zoo, we give them nest boxes. And also the parents would have to go out into the ocean and forage for food, where we offer them food. So these penguins definitely have an easy life. They don't have to go hunt for their own food. We give them plenty here.
So Kaylee, how can people help wild penguins survive? What are some actions people can take to make sure that they'll always have enough food? And
that's a great question. So if you are a big seafood lover, if you download a Seafood Watch app, it'll tell you what is sustainable to eat in your area, and it will help the environment that way. And it's less competition for some of the sea life. So that is a great resource to use if you want to save penguins and other sea life. Another thing you can do is totally simple, is pick up trash. You go to the ocean, go to the beach, you see trash laying around, pick it up. Even if you're in the Portland area, if you see trash on the ground, if you pick it up, it keeps it out of our waterways.
And we'll take one last question. It's from Joreen. She wants to know, what do they feel like? Are they soft?
Doreen, that's a great question. They're very smooth. They kind of feel like, what, a water balloon? Like a what? Dalmatian. Like a wet Dalmatian is what Barbara says. No, they're very smooth and soft.
Well, thanks so much, Kaylee, for hanging out with us and the penguins today.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you guys very soon at the zoo. Don't forget, check out the link on our website if you want to have some penguin activities. And everyone who is anywhere near a fire, if you're in evacuation or can see it, if you're affected by it in any way, our thoughts are with you. Be safe.
Thank you. Bye, penguins.